time to match wits with the Tri-State's top high school students on WOWK-TV's Varsity Sport of the Mind, High Q. Now, your host for High Q, Ernie Anderson.
Thank you, and welcome everybody to our weekly competition. We're the third of our 4 quarterfinal games. We have 2 previous winners who have each won 2 games. As a matter of fact, these are 2 of 11 teams in the Ohio Valley Academic Conference, so they've met each other in other play other than here on High Q. Should be a good match. Let's get started to meet them. First, the varsity scholars from Ironton High School, Ironton, Ohio.
David Jenkins, and I'm a freshman. Philip Sutton, senior.
Kathy Allen, sophomore.
John Payton, senior.
And here to coach Ironton are Susan Sheridan and Debbie Douglas. Pleasure to have you back with us, ladies.
Thank you.
And now let's meet the varsity scholars from Fairland High School, Proctorville, Ohio.
Jason Mayberry, junior.
David McWhorter, senior.
Tiffany Nelson, junior.
Johnny Hall, senior.
And here to coach Fairland is Eddie Capper. Pleasure to have you back with us. And we'll be back to start today's game right after this.
IQ is brought to you by Ashland Oil. We care about you in everything you do. And by Marshall University, home of the Jaeger Scholars. We'll be back to start the game following these messages.
This is Dr. Robert Walker, young, energetic, a motivator, named the physician who most influenced the Marshall University Medical School class of 1985. He counsels and advises in class, in the hallways, molding the next generation of family physicians. After his own medical education, Dr. Walker came to the Lincoln County Primary Care Center in West Virginia, then to Marshall's Medical School. Wherever he goes, he strikes sparks of enthusiasm and caring. But at Marshall, the sparks are flying.
High school graduation can be the basis of a better life. And at Ashland Oil, we know a good teacher makes a difference.
Hey, there's Mr. Adams, our junior high science teacher.
Mr. Adams, how you doing?
Great. By the way, I'm really proud to see that all of you are graduating. Sometimes you made me wonder.
And you always made us study.
Ashland Oil supports programs that improve the quality of teaching. In Ashland's America, we care about you in everything we do.
Just a reminder that the bigger your ad is, the more it gets noticed. But when people see a big ad in the official GTE Yellow Pages, they see it all year long.
It's the hottest game show on TV, and it's taking America by a storm. Why are millions tuning in? Is it the host, Pat Sajak, with his boyish good looks? Or perhaps it's the stunning Vanna White? This is Melanie Walters. Join me as I travel to Los Angeles to take you backstage at the Wheel of Fortune. Monday at 6, here on Channel 13's Action News.
And welcome back. Judging today's competition is Steve Hensley, Assistant Dean of Students at Marshall University. Pleasure to have you with us, Steve. And now let's review the High Q rules.
The game consists of 2 types of questions, toss-ups worth 10 points each and bonuses worth a stated number of points. On a toss-up, you must signal and be recognized before answering. The right answer earns your team 10 points and a chance at the bonus. A wrong answer and the question goes to your opponent. You may interrupt the toss-up, but if you do, you must answer immediately. Interrupting with a wrong answer will cost your team 5 points, and the question is finished for your opponent. You have 3 seconds to answer a toss-up, 5 seconds for each bonus or part of a bonus. The game is played in 7-minute halves. If a half ends while a question is being asked, that's it. If you're answering a question when the half ends, you may complete that answer or part of an answer only. All questions used on High Q are researched and authenticated by the staff of the College Bowl Company, Incorporated. All decisions of the moderator and judges are final.
Okay, teams, are you ready? There's the whistle to begin. We're playing for a 20-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. But there are 2 pairs of consecutive months in which each month has 31 days. For 10 points, name either pair.
Allen, Ironton.
August and July.
That's correct. The other, December and January. 20-point bonus try now. An effort of the body's respiratory system to overcome retention of excessive carbon dioxide is manifested in an involuntary muscle response that is often considered a breach of manners unless adequately concealed. For 20 points, what is this physiological response and a faux pas?
Yawning.
That's right, for 20 points. Another 20-point bonus try, everybody yawns. Here's your toss-up. The AAU is one of the largest sports governing bodies. For 10 points.
Peyton, Ironton.
Amateur Athletic Union.
That's it. A chance to add 20 now. Euripides wrote The Phoenician Women, and Balfe wrote The Bohemian Girl. For 10 points apiece. Give me these other titles referring to nationalities or countries of origin. A classic of children's literature by Johann David Weiss.
England's Fables.
No, that's Swiss Family Robinson. How about a best-selling novel by John Fowles? Fowles, F-O-W-L-E-S.
No answer.
The French Lieutenant's Woman. No credit. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. He defended Loeb and Leopold in their 1924 murder trial. And Eugene Debs.
Sutton, Ironton.
Darrow.
Darrow is right. Chance to add 20. Now, IBM may finally have some competition as two of its major competitors have recently merged to form the country's second largest computer conglomerate. For 10 points each, name these two corporations.
Honeywell and Burroughs.
Well, Burroughs is right. Sperry is the other corporation. You had one for 10. 30-point bonus for this toss-up. For 10 points, what are the twin terms that refer to the systematic contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the heart?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Expansion, contraction.
No, Ironton?
Sutton, Ironton.
Diastolic and systolic.
Yes. A chance to add 30 now. Pete Rose now has played in more Major League Baseball games than any other player in history. For 10 points each. What three greats, two now retired, one deceased, are in second, third, and fourth places in number of games played?
Lou Gehrig, Carl Yastrzemski, and Ted Williams.
Well, you had Yastrzemski. The others were Hank Aaron and Ty Cobb. So you had one for 10 points. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. After writing several successful melodramas, he began a new career as a children's writer with his Mother Goose in Prose. His subsequent The Wonderful Wizard of Oz was his greatest.
McWhorter, Fairland.
Bomb is right, and you're on the board now, and a chance to add 20. Here's a question on Sam's. For 10 points apiece, tell me what Sam defeated the Mexicans at San Jacinto.
Houston.
Right. What Sam, cousin of John, was an early adherent to the idea of American independence?
Adams.
Adams is right for the full 20. 30-point bonus for this toss-up. A jackrabbit can attain a speed of over 40 miles per hour. For 10 points, what animal clocked at almost 900 feet per hour proverbially finishes first?
Peyton, Ironton.
The tortoise.
The tortoise or the turtle. 30-point bonus now. For 10 points each, which kind of fish shares its name with a roost for a bird?
Chicken wings. Kind of fish. No answer.
Perch. How about a person with sharp ability in a certain area?
No answer.
A shark. How about a type of license?
Hunting.
Permit. So no credit on that bonus. 20-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. This commercial spokesman promotes only one product, but has become rich and famous enough to be profiled on TV's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. For 10 points, name this star of commercials for 9 Lives.
McWhorter, Fairland.
Morris the cat. 20-point bonus try now, Fairland. Anything that moves over the surface of the Earth, such as wind or water, tends to curve in one direction in the northern hemisphere and in the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere. For 20 points, does it tend to curve in the right or left in our hemisphere?
The right.
The right is right. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. Alexander Hamilton and Benjamin Franklin are the only two non-presidents on bills up to $100. For 10 points, what is their combined worth?
Sutton, Ironton.
$150?
No. Fairland?
McWhorter, Fairland.
$70.
No, 110. Hamilton's on the 10, Franklin on the 100. Toss-up. During John Adams' presidency, the U.S. very nearly went to war with France because of sabotage, a request for an outrageous loan and bribe, and 3 unofficial
Sutton, Ironton.
The XYZ affair?
That's it. And a chance to add 20 now, Ironton. When Queen Victoria learned of a recent invention, she reportedly said, "Clever people, these Americans." I don't know if she said it like that, but for 5 points each and a 5-point bonus for all 3, who invented the air brake?
Pullman?
No, George Westinghouse. How about the process for the vulcanization of rubber?
Goodyear?
That's right. The first passenger elevator.
Otis?
Otis is right. Good crossword puzzle workers there, so you had 2 for 10. Toss up for a 20-point bonus. If a Parisian tourist wanted to visit New York's equivalent of the Bourse for 10 points, where would you take him?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Subway.
No? Ironton?
Peyton, Ironton.
Metropolitan Museum of
No,
Art.
the Stock Exchange or Wall Street. Bonus, or toss-up for that 20-point bonus for 10 points. Which of the following would you be most apt to eat? Sodium thiosulfate, sodium hydroxide, or sodium benzoate?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Sodium benzoate.
Sodium benzoate. It's a preservative. A chance to add 20. The castle was called the Enchanted Hill. Its builder and owner was William Randolph Hearst. For 20 points, where in California can it be found? Answer?
Beverly Hills.
No, San Simeon. 30-point bonus for this toss-up. For 10 points, name the novel by Aldous Huxley from which this passage.
McWhorter, Fairland.
Time, Ironton, 5-point penalty. Which this passage. Brave New World is what we were looking for. That's the end of the first half. We'll be back to talk to our team members right after this.
University professors are many-faceted people serving in many ways. Not only does Dr. Christine Berry influence the lives and development of business college students at Marshall, but she also helps build a better life for us all through such work as organizing this global trade conference in Charleston. Christine Berry, striking sparks of intellectual and business growth. And at Marshall, the sparks are flying.
For the past few years, Ashland Oil has been stressing the need for quality education, and we're beginning to see some improvements.
Remember, class, the computer is nothing more than a tool, but you must learn how to use it correctly. Now,
We see improvements like these throughout Ashland's America, but much more needs to be done. We can have this and more, or we can return to this. We'll continue to do our part. Will you do yours? In Ashland's America, we care about you in everything we do.
This is the sound that earned them 16 gold records. Doug Clifford, Stu Cook, Tom Fogerty, and John Fogerty. Creedence Clearwater Revival. This is the one, the ultimate collection. Creedence Clearwater Revival's greatest hits on 3 LPs or 2 cassettes. This is your last opportunity to buy TV's biggest selling album at the final price of just $14.95. Call her right now to ensure delivery. Supplies are limited.
To order, use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-228-1080. That's 1-800-228-1080. Or save COD charges and send just $14.95 plus $2 shipping and handling to Creedence Clearwater Revival, P.O. Box 1448, Huntington, West Virginia. Don't delay, call now.
All right, welcome back. At halftime, we validated the score, and we find a pretty good game in progress. Ironton leads Fairland 110-65. Now, here in our third quarterfinal game, as we've done in the previous 2, we're going to talk to each of our team members, and we'll go to Ironton and ask David what sort of hobbies he has.
Well, mostly I enjoy playing the piano and listening to classical music.
Wow. Are you fairly productive on the piano? Do well?
Fairly, I'd say.
Fairly. Well, that's fair to partly cloudy, probably. And Philip, as team captain.
I like to play basketball, and I collect baseball cards.
Who's the most valuable one you have, do you think?
We got, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Have any of the Mets? That's my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the time this airs, I guess baseball will be back in progress. There, and Kathy.
I like to run and just read books and stuff.
You run while you're reading a book?
No,
sometimes?
I run.
You run away from trouble? What is it? You just like to run. Keep in shape. Lord knows I need to do that too. And John, what are your activities?
Well, I play sax and I listen to older rock and roll music.
Older rock and roll, like do you have a favorite sax?
The
You like David Sanborn in the current, he's in the jazz world currently.
No, not particularly.
He's up.
I like
He's one of my favorites. No.
I like probably blues more than
Blues.
jazz.
Okay, well that's wonderful. You have very varied interests, and good luck with you in the future. And let's go to Fairland, Proctorville, Ohio, and find out from Jason what sort of activities he enjoys.
Swimming, playing computer games, and playing tennis.
So fairly athletic young man, yeah. And David, your interest lies...
I like to study astronomy and play tennis.
And play tennis. I didn't know that of you. Play tennis, and study astronomy to be...
An astronomer.
An astronomer. Well, that's probably follows, I guess, rather than a grocery store clerk or something. And Tiffany. I love that name. What's your activities like?
I like photography and reading and listening to music. Journey's my favorite group.
Journey. Journey and Huey Lewis. There's no better singer in the whole wide world than Steve Perry. Right. And Johnny, what are your activities after school?
I like to golf, play basketball, and run track.
So another sportsman. You ever just like to kick your shoes off and do nothing? Sure. Yeah, well, no, you always got to study. It's study, study, study. Well, that's a little bit more about both of our teams. And teams, we're about to begin the second half of your quarterfinal match. And, of course, the team that wins this goes into our semifinals. And if the whistle blows while I'm asking you a question, that's the end of the game. If it blows while you're answering, you can complete that one answer. And, of course, the team that's ahead when the final whistle blows wins the game. Good luck, teams. Playing for a 30-point bonus for this toss-up. For 10 points, name the woman who was called the Angel of the Battlefield during the Civil...
McWhorter, Fairland.
Nightingale.
No, 5-point penalty, Ironton, during the Civil War, and who organized the American Red Cross.
Sutton, Ironton.
Clara Barton.
Clara Barton is right. Chance to add 30. Krista McAuliffe was probably the best-known crew member of the final Challenger mission, even though she was the only non-astronaut aboard. For 10 points each, name any 3 of the 6 other astronauts on that disastrous mission.
Smith, Scobie, and Onizuka.
That's correct. Well, you got that one. The others were McNair, Resnick, and Jarvis. You had them on, the 3 you needed for 30. 25-point bonus for this toss-up. Some sensitive souls in the Kremlin were mightily offended by its premise and promised to make life uncomfortable for the ABC Moscow Bureau if the network went ahead with this miniseries.
Mayberry, Fairland.
America.
America is it. The chance to add 25. Now, Winston Churchill described it as the worst disaster in British history when General Percival surrendered his 16,000 British, 14,000 Australian, and 32,000 Indian troops to the Japanese. For 25 points, in which island city were those troops trapped?
Okinawa.
Answer.
Okinawa.
Singapore. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. This 750,000 square mile body of water washes the coasts of at least 12 Latin America.
McWhorter, Fairland.
The Gulf of Mexico.
No, 5-point penalty, Ironton. At least 12 Latin American and West Indian republics. For 10 points, name it.
Allen, Ironton.
Pacific.
No, the Caribbean. Toss-up. The flower's seeds are edible and rich in oil. It's the state flower of Kansas.
McWhorter, Fairland.
Sunflower.
Sunflower is right. Chance to add 20. In winter, bats and woodchucks do essentially what certain snails and lungfish do in the summer. For 10 points each, what one-word term describes what woodchucks and bats do in the winter?
Hibernate.
Hibernate is right. Now, what's the term to describe the summertime dormancy of lungfish? Answer.
Hibernate.
Estivate. So you had 1 for 10. 25-point bonus for this toss-up. Pope John Paul II succeeded John Paul I, who succeeded Paul VI. Who, for 10 points, succeeded whom?
Allen, Ironton.
Paul the Fourth.
No, Fairland?
Mayberry, Fairland.
Urban the 16th.
John the 23rd. Toss up. A 100-watt bulb emits 1 billion ergs per second. For 10 points, what specifically emits 4 times 10 to the 33rd power erg?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Sun.
The sun per second. Chance to add 25. The name's the same. The first Greek poet of the new comedy, the faithful husband of Bacchus in Greek mythology, a Greek citizen of Colossae to whom St. Paul wrote an epistle urging him not to punish an escaped slave, and a book in the New Testament. For 25 points, what's the common name? Answer.
John.
Philemon, between Titus and Hebrews. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. In Shakespearean drama, Lear is the father to Cordelia, Goneril, and Regan. For 10 points, in The Merchant of Venice, who is father to Jessica?
Mayberry, Fairland.
Shylock.
Shylock is right. A chance to add 20. If no presidential candidate receives a majority of votes in the Electoral College, for 10 points apiece, which governing bodies choose the president?
House of Representatives.
That's correct. The vice president.
The Senate.
Senate is right for the full 20. Score Titans, 25-point bonus. Toss-up, the terms the same. The location of a photographic lens and legal proceedings from which the public is excluded. For 10 points, what's the two-word phrase?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Closed court.
No, Ironton.
Allen, Ironton.
Close lens.
In camera. Toss-up. Fidel Castro has been president of Cuba since New Year's Day 1959. For 10 points, whom did he oust?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Baptiste.
Batista is right. A chance to add 25 and tie the score. The Iliad tells the story of the wrath of Achilles and its disastrous consequences in the Trojan War. For 25 points, what great British epic poem by John Milton tells the story of Adam and Eve, their temptation and their fall?
Paradise Lost.
That's correct for 25, and a 30-point bonus for this toss-up. The three-word phrase I'm looking for, 3 words, describes the arrangement of squares on a checkerboard and the ordinary members of a labor union. For 10 points, what is it?
Peyton, Ironton.
Grid.
No? Fairland?
McWhorter, Fairland.
Rank and file.
Rank and file is right. 30-point bonus try. Chemist refers to adenosine triphosphate as ATP. Now, for 10 points apiece, provide the set of initials that serves as scientific shorthand for each of these names and terms. The tracings produced by an apparatus designed to detect and record electrical changes in the brain cells.
EEG.
EEG.
Answer?
EEG.
That's right, EEG. Either of the nucleic acids which serve as carriers of genetic information. Answer?
DNA.
That's right, or RNA. A stage in the normal sleep cycle named for a certain muscular movement. Answer?
REM.
That's correct for the full 30. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. British police were forced to seal it off in June of 1986 in order...
McWhorter, Fairland.
Heathrow Airport.
No, 5-point penalty, Ironton, in order to protect it from assorted hippies and druid priests who annually gather there to celebrate.
Peyton, Ironton.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge is right. 20-point bonus try now. I'll give you the time and place. For 20 points, you tell me what famous event occurred. It happened on February 15, 1898 in Havana.
The sinking of the Maine.
Yes, again.
The sinking in the Maine.
That's correct for 20. 20-point bonus for this toss-up. In Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, the residents all live for 10 points in what fictional play?
Jenkins, Ironton.
Middle-earth.
Middle-earth is right. A chance to add 20. Now, on a mountain climbing trip, you climb and stand on the top of the highest mountain in each of 2 different states. For 10 points apiece, in what state are you when you climb Mount Rainier?
Washington.
That's correct. When you conquer Mount Washington.
Alaska.
Nope, New Hampshire. You had 1 for 10. We're playing for a 20-point bonus toss-up. Gregory, Charles, Leo, Alfred, Alexander, Frederick, and Catherine were all the greats. That's the end of the game. We'll validate the score. Be back to talk to our team members right after this. Welcome back. We've validated the score, and after the smoke has cleared, we find Ironton wins in a squeaker, 200 to 195 over Fairland. So, Ironton, you will now go on to the semifinal match and meet the winner of next week's competition between Lawrence County from Louisa, Kentucky, and Paul Blazer of Ashland, Kentucky. in our quarterfinal match on High Q. So join us next week, won't you, for that. For all the production crew, I'm Ernie G. Anderson. Thank you for watching. So long, everybody.